Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Thursday night episode of Thrifty Business. I'm your one host, Jason Thrifts, coming at you live from Vegas, and with me back in the co-host seat. Aw, Stephanie.
Hello.
And she's in Orlando, and you can figure that out on your own. How you doing, Steph?
I am doing all right.
All right. So we were just having technical difficulties with our guests. Let's see if they have fixed themselves by starting our first segment. If not, it's going to make for an interesting show. Now it's time for Jay's Tiki Talk. Each week, I drink a different rum out of a different tiki mug and try and match it up to my guest. And our guest this week is Tara Cleary. Let's try and hope.
Is it working?
Oh, thank God.
Hey!
10 seconds before we went live, we couldn't hear her.
Yes.
10 seconds.
That wasn't good.
And there is a little weird feedback. And so when we get to the interview portion, if it gets bad, I will definitely be working the mutes on Steph and I. So we will get it figured out. You know, sometimes there's that ghost in the machine and you can't do nothing with. Okay. So you live in Tennessee. So the mug choice was like maybe the most simple one I've ever had to pull off the shelf. I walked into my main mug room and I'm like, well, Elvis, of course, for Tennessee. Come on now.
He's on the other side of the state, though.
Yeah. And then I couldn't figure out the rum. You were the one that is mystified. Like we wandered around, looked at all our rum 1,000 times. And then that's when Stacy kicks in and starts looking at the facts about the state. So here is the rum I have chosen. Tell me why I've chosen this rum. Well, if I stump you.
Well, I'm not originally from Tennessee.
How long you been there?
4 years.
Okay.
I hope I don't get my citizenship revoked, though.
How many stars on your flag?
There you go. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, that was Stacy's brilliance. She's like, ooh, they're because she knows we have this rum, and she goes, oh, their flag has 3 stars. So there you go, 3-star rum.
Nice.
Easy peasy. All right, what you drinking tonight, Steph?
I'm terribly excited tonight. Good old water.
Woo, fancy. And a fancy little cup there.
Oh, yeah. Well, we went to Epcot yesterday, so there was lots of heat, so we're still resetting after yesterday's endeavor.
I can imagine. And what are you enjoying tonight, Tara?
I'm the same as Stephanie. Unfortunately, I forgot my cup, though. So.
All right, well, you'll have some time to go get it. All right, so sit back, relax. We're going to be talking about selling on one of these super long garage sales. We've talked to many people who have went to them and shopped and stuff. We've heard good and we've heard bad, but I don't think we've ever talked to anybody that actually set up a booth. And so I look forward to hearing what that was like. So sit back, relax, grab your water, and we'll see you in a little bit.
Thank you.
Woohoo.
Woohoo.
Gonna be a fun show. All right, let's get into it, everybody. And now it's time for our scores of the week. These are the items that you should be on the lookout for when you're out thrifting.
Oh. That would be your turn, Jason. There it is.
Yes, it would help if I actually put them up there. No, just describe everything.
I was like, oh, he's really testing me. I'm going to from memory. All right, so I don't know if I've mentioned Land of Nod before. Land of Nod is basically Crate and Barrel's version of Pottery Barn Kids. So they don't do quite as much. There aren't as many releases. However, when you do find them, if they're the really good, thick, 100% cotton, I always grab them. Sometimes they're a slower seller. Sometimes they're not. The sheet for this guy flew out of the door basically like 2 days after I listed him. And I just finally sent the cute little pillowcases on their way for a full price. And I got these at the bins, so I probably paid $1 for them because my bins are $1.89 per pound.
Nice. I haven't been to the bins in so long.
It was like one of the few trips I've gone recently. I was like, mole. All right. So most of the time, I pretty much grab Hawaiian sarongs just because, one, they're pretty, two, in case they fit me. This one clearly did not. It is quite small. But this one was really lovely. Paradise Found from the 90s. Unfortunately, the comps weren't super great. However, because I do also do this thing called YouTube, I posted this lovely dress to my Instagram stories, and they went to eBay to buy it from me as soon as I listed it. So happily full price out the door, and I paid my Goodwill charges $7.49 for a dress. So not a super great return, but a nice quick sale. Like same day I listed it.
Very nice, and nice job of collage.
Oh yeah, especially that one, like because you want to see the shirred back, you want to make sure it's not too stretched. Oh, the little frog skirt. I cannot tell you how sad I was that this didn't fit me. I'm not even gonna lie about that. I really wanted this to fit me. It did not. It was a small medium wrap skirt. It's absolutely from the 70s, like with his cute little flower in his mouth. I picked this up very dirty from an estate sale for $3. Like I'm talking that whole front frog was covered in what was like red or brown, not clear, but it was gross. And I was like crossing my every fit thing. I was like, okay, it's either $3 that went down the toilet or maybe I can get it. And you can't even tell it was ever dirty. It was so pristine when it came out of the bath. And it sold for $45 plus shipping.
Nice. That's adorable.
Yeah.
What? You sold a sewing pattern. Say it isn't so.
I swear one of these days I want to see you sell a sewing pattern. That's
I'll
really
get some.
That'll be the day I feel like I will have won. You've already gotten me to sell a CD, so.
All right.
Okay, so this was a pickup from so very long ago. But it was an uncut factory folded bust 38. The downside to this one is while it's a lovely bust 38, the details aren't flooringly wonderful. Like they aren't grabbing your attention. So this one sold for $29.95, and I probably had it for like at least 3 years minimum, but sold full price out the door. Bye-bye, sweet pattern.
Bye-bye. See you later.
Only 3,000 more to go.
Okay, so I accepted the best offer of $20, and we've all sold $20 t-shirts. They're not usually ones to share on the show. However, oops, you can't see the title. Guess where it went?
Did it go to Florida?
Of course. So when things go back home, that tickles me for some dumb reason. So Jimmy Buffett t-shirt going to Florida. Yeah, I mean, you got to share. So get your Buffett stuff up, and then bonus tip, Buffett has 2 T's. Everyone blows that. So make sure you got 2 T's in your Jimmy Buffett. Rick says patterns don't take up much room. How many patterns do you think you got around your house?
Okay, individual patterns don't take up much room. But when you have like possibly 10,000 in your house, 2 entire giant sewing cabinets, multiple boxes, and part of a small room.
All right. So this isn't the music portion yet, but I haven't had a reel-to-reel to list in a while.
Oh,
my own one, and it sold rather quick. I paid $2 for it. Sold it for almost $21. If you don't know what a reel-to-reel is, that was pre-cassettes. That's a big-ass giant cassette. It's about that big. And so here's the thing with reel-to-reels. Unless you have a player, and probably 99.999% of us don't, even I don't, there's no way to test. So when you sell a bunch, and I have sold a bunch, every once in a while I get a customer who goes, this was supposed to be James Brown. I hear some kid reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. You just got to believe them, because what are you going to do? You can't argue. You didn't test it. So it doesn't happen too often, but it can. And people did use their stuff. So just as a heads up, if you sell any reel-to-reels, you might get that message one day like I did.
All right.
Okay, I wanted to show this off because this was retail arbitrage. Picked it up at Ross, I think for like $15, and I sold today on Bonanza for $59.49 plus shipping. Yay!
Nice.
Yeah, heck yeah, I like that. And speaking of using collages, look how nice this collage was.
Ooh, I like the blue in the background. It goes well with everything else.
Yeah,
very cool.
Typically, you would make the biggest part of the collage the front. But because of the snorkel sticking out, I couldn't because it would get too skinny. But I wanted to really show where it was from on the back and then show the bottom. So I did kind of what you wouldn't normally do. And so this is a funny story. I bought 2 of these in October to give one to my parents for Christmas and one to Debbie, my producer, for Christmas. And then I lost them. And I looked and looked and looked and couldn't find them. Bought 2 more, gave them to Debbie and my parents in like March. And then I finally cleaned up my office and found them. So I'm like, well, I kept one because I needed an orange one, and I sold the other one. And I doubled my money. Doubled my money. Yep.
Nice.
So very excited when you clean and you find things and you turn. And it was quick. Listed maybe 7 hours.
Oh, wow. Dang.
Yeah. But start using Pick Collage. If you're not using it yet, not everything needs it. But that front and the back of that dress and this mug, it all looks very, very nice. And now it's time for our CD and cassette scores of the week. And as always, we start with flipping cassettes. You a big DJ Quick fan?
No.
Okay, well, neither am I. However, I did pay $25 for this cassette, and I sold it for $15. So I'm a fan in that regard.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, like, hey, thanks for making me money there, DJ
Absolutely.
Quick. But even better. All right, picked up this Art Pepper jazz LP for $3, I think, at a thrift store. And I took a best offer of $75.
Wow.
So I haven't had a big record sale in a while, so I was very excited. And this, again, was only up 2 days, maybe. So I'm excited by these quick flips and decent money. So no complaints there from me.
Absolutely.
And now we go from flipping cassettes to flipping CDs. All right, Steph, this one I picked up at a store going out of business. So they were originally priced at $14. I was there on half off day, so I paid $7, and then I sold it on Amazon for $40.
Nice.
And I have no clue what this band is or who this band is.
I'm about to say, I'm like, who have we listened to?
You would
them?
think I would know the bands with Vegas in the name, but
That's
I've heard
thought.
of them, but I've never heard them. So,
well,
I was hoping for a little bit more, but this is a 5.1 DVD audio surround sound. So this is not playing your normal CD player. You got to have a DVD player. But if you have the 5.1 surround sound system, they've reformatted music so it envelops you. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, cool.
Paid $25. It was listed for about 3 weeks and sold it for $45. So, when all is said and done, I think I took home like $17 profit. It's still a nice profit.
Yeah.
And then Bert Kaempfert. You know Bert Kaempfert?
Nope.
You probably know his most famous song, Strangers in the Night.
Yes, I do know that.
All right, $6, sealed, new at a record store in Burbank, sold for $49 on Amazon.
Wow.
And I know you're a huge Inferno fan.
Oh, sure.
All right, so in my classes, in my Flippin' CDs class, www.flippincds.com, I talk about regional rap because it's a thing that most of us have no knowledge of.
Mm-hmm.
And so I talk a lot about that and I teach about it. And I paid $4 for this nice CD and sold it for $50. Now you are going to see it 2 more times tonight because it comes up with some other lessons involved with this CD.
Nice.
Now, am I forgetting anything?
Hey, wait! Hold up! Don't forget about me!
Whoops! Now it's time for Stacy's Budget Bin Scores. Acting, and thank you.
Brilliant.
I love when we sell. Stacy goes right to the soundtrack budget bin every time we go to a record store, and she does this all the time. And we leave with like 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 extra CDs. $2 turn into $18 thanks to Stacy's hard work. So,
way to go, Stacy.
To my honey, she did a good job. All right, but sadly, they're not all good things. And now it's time for our duds of the week. Do not let our mistakes be yours.
Okay. So clearly they can't all be winners. So when you occasionally buy large piles of sewing patterns like I do, you will get this lovely little creation. And for if anyone has sold sewing patterns or any type of paraphernalia, I'm sure you know exactly which one I'm talking about because this thing, I swear they printed hundreds of thousands of these daggone things. So if you see this in an antique mall, anything, if you would like to learn how to crochet a pineapple placemat, please grab it if it's less than $1. Because that's how much I sold mine for, 95 cents.
Dollars? Oh, shoot.
Luckily, it went with a whole bunch of other stuff, so I didn't have to. She didn't just pay like the shipping cost for it. But I've also had this thing forever, and so I was finally like, just list the stupid thing, and somebody took it. So I was like, thank you for taking that away.
Aaron, one of my admins, sold his first sewing pattern yesterday and thought of you.
Yay! Good job, Aaron. Only in certain parts.
The novelty necktie.
Oh man. Yeah. Okay. So this was, oh boy, January 3 years ago. I think I've had this thing in the bins in Connecticut. So that's how long I've had that since I worked at Yale. Worked for Yale, not at Yale. Yeah. So it's been around forever. I mean, even like the photos aren't terrible, even for me, like not really knowing what I was doing yet, but I was just like, I have no desire to retake these. None, zero. So somebody wants it for $5. Dear God, send me an offer and it's yours. I just don't want it. I don't want it anymore.
Pirate Boyd.
Yes, Pirate Boyd. Because I made my account when Pirates of the Caribbean was popular.
Nice. All right. I love this. And it was 4X.
That's cool.
But it sat and sat and sat and sat and sat. And sat and sat and sat and sat, and no one ever made an offer. I had $45. Someone offered me $20 like 5 days ago. I'm like, yes. Don't be married to your stuff.
Yeah,
it looks cool. It's a good size, but apparently no one else thought it was cool. So when someone says, "Here's $20," I think I paid 10 for it. I was happy to get it gone, and they left me glowing feedback. They love it. It fits perfect. So that makes me feel even better.
There you go.
Because when you get to be a bigger dude. If you a lot of my jackets, the sleeves don't fit, they're too short. So if you're a 4X guy and you get a jacket and you love the fit, that makes me feel better, way better.
Yeah.
I'm like, yay. That's
a good feeling.
So, but this one shocks me. I've done so well on vintage concert t-shirts and nary a nibble on this one. And I've had it up since December of 19.
Whoa.
And I know there's got to be some Little River Band fans out there now. It is a really small shirt. It's a vintage medium, and it looks about as small nowadays.
Yeah.
But it's in rather good shape for 1981.
Yeah, that's really good.
It's a 50-50 made in the USA.
Huh.
I don't know. And
is it time to pop it on the teenager and then throw it on Depop?
Yeah, I might have to do that. But, man, do teenagers even know Little River Band? That's one of those bands that's kind of...
No, but it's got rainbows. It's Pride Month. Throw it on her and put it on Depop.
Oh, that's true. But if it is, and I've got like 45 into it or something, like a lot.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So if someone wants this, I'll take like $65. Give me $20 and I'll call it.
Yeah.
So $65 and it is yours. Yours. Yes. Nay was saying this. Depop at Pride. Yep. So you're all on the same page. And funny, wasn't even thinking that until we brought it up tonight. So thanks everybody.
Welcome.
Good job. Good job, team effort. Yay, I love that. That's why we hang out together, see? And now it's time for Where in the World Did Our Stuff Go? If you are not shipping internationally, you are leaving out 7.3 billion with a B potential customers.
All right. Oh no, that made it worse. Why did that make it worse? I'm trying to get the echo to go away tonight. All right, anyway. So I have this lovely butterick pattern. She's cute. She's not super fancy. She was $20, but her and 9 of her friends just needed to go to Ottawa, and they were all basically bus 36s. So I love that when I can find the people that want one size and they just go whole hog and then do one shipping fee. So hooray, Ottawa.
So exotic too, Ottawa.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, remember that rap CD I showed you?
Yep.
Yeah, well, it's on its way to I listened to this earlier. Yokochi, Japan.
Okay.
Oops, let me make the picture a little better. So this is like some underground Atlanta rapper that no one's ever heard of. I paid $3, sold for 50, and it's on its way to Japan. And that's why you sell worldwide. Because how in the world someone in Japan knows this dude is really beyond me, and they needed it for $50. So I was excited to ship it to him for $50 plus shipping.
Nice.
Hey, move. There we go. And now it's time for You Have Got to Be Shipping Me. What to do and what not to do when it comes to shipping. Okay, so Debbie puts together the graphics for the co-host, and Debbie said, I had some problems with graphics. I hope Stephanie understands them.
No, I know exactly what she's saying, actually.
I'm like, I don't know how to take that.
Okay. So I obviously buy things from eBay as well as sell things on eBay. And yes, I am because I find it entertaining. So I had bought 2 reproduction patterns. So in case you don't know, on my channel, I like to pit vintage original patterns versus their modern counterparts and see just how badly they do. And I just recorded one and it's bad. But I ordered 2 of them off eBay. One of them came, unfortunately, how I expected it to, which was in a manila envelope with no such protection from the weather. So don't do that. That's side tip number 1. And then the other one, this brand new pattern. So like, as in from Joann's maybe like a year ago. It's a vintage Vogue large scale. So it fit in an 8.5 by 11. It came with, and I kid you not, 2 cardboard backers, one on the front, one on the back. It was inside a plastic bag, which I do say, yes, please do that. That's the only thing. Do that. But then cardboard on either side. And then, Jason, they wrapped it like it was a record. They did 2 full rounds this way and 2 full rounds this way. And I was like,
holy cow.
You guys, there is nothing breakable about this pattern. Nothing. It is new. It's not fragile. You're not looking at 100-year-old pattern. No.
Don't waste your time and your shipping materials.
I mean, thanks to them for sending me a crap load of really good packing materials. Thanks.
Yeah.
But that's
silver lining.
That's all you did. You just wasted your supplies. Don't do that.
Yes, don't do that. All right. Speaking of things not to do. Okay, if you're running this business and you don't have a label printer yet, a thermal printer which doesn't take ink, you should get one because it pays for itself like that. So number 1 is the thermal printer. Number 2 is the main printer for other normal stuff. But you have to format your labels for the different printers. And so if you have to bounce from one to the other, it's a pain in the butt. So here's my tip. Don't run out of labels right before a weekend. Because you see that box down there? That's the new box of labels. So I get 3,000 labels on a roll at a time. They come in like 8 rolls or whatever. When you put the last roll in, order then. We ran out and it was like 3 days to get some more in. And then we're trying to reformat for the regular printer. I'm like, boom, boom, boom. Head against the wall. Don't.
Oh, no.
I mean, it seems so dumb and simplistic, but since I just did it, don't run out of labels.
Good tip. Good tip.
Holy crap. What a pain in the butt. Because then you got to stop your flow and change things.
Yeah.
When you got to stop your flow and change things, it wastes your time. And now it's time for the Thrifty Tips of the Week. Little tips and tricks to help you out when you're outsourcing.
Okay, so this seems counterintuitive, but I have had it happen on occasion that it works. So for me, obviously, what do I look for? Sewing material or sewing patterns. We all know this. But on occasion, I like to look for going to eBay, scrolling down to, a drivable distance. I'm from Orlando, so I don't do 25. I do like 100 because I'm weird, but I'll do like 100 miles out. So that takes me to either coast, because if I go to either coast, there's things I can thrift while I'm there. And I actually look for things on eBay that have local pickup that maybe I can get a quicker deal on and not have to pay shipping, because unfortunately patterns are heavy and the shipping is heavy because they can't go media mail. So for me, it's like, all right, let's use eBay, but use it counterintuitively, sort of like it's Craigslist, but it's not Craigslist. So it's one of those things. It's more useful for, like, if Jason was looking for yet another tiki bar, maybe he goes to eBay, types tiki bar, and does local pickup and picks his distance that he wants to drive in. But, things like that. Saves you on shipping and maybe saves them a little bit of time from having to pack it up. So double win. Yay.
I like that. And that's not something I've ever done before.
Oh,
now it's got me thinking.
Sorry, Stacy. I might have just got y'all a second tiki bar, or third, or 17th.
Fourth. Okay. All right. So we've talked about sourcing online quite often and sourcing to resell. I'm in the middle of kind of traveling the country, giving speeches on Down the Beachcomber, and more so his ex-wife. And this is a vintage Down the Beachcomber rum barrel, which I didn't, oddly enough, I didn't have one. And I knew how much they were worth. And so I picked up 2 for $153 because they had it at auction. And with shipping and everything, it rolled out to about $178. Now I want to sell one and keep one.
Yeah.
And let's see what they sell for. Oops. Let's see what they sell for.
Drum roll.
$200. 2 days later. And if you notice, look at the mistake the person who got 200 made. Down the Beachcomber run with an N barrel.
Oh no.
And they still got 200.
Wow.
So think big picture. Think, man, am I going to drop 178 right now? But look, I'm going to sell one for 200. So the one I got is free, and I'll put like $10 in my pocket.
Absolutely.
Ta-da. And I'll spell rum with an M. And maybe I'll get it $25 more. So
there you go.
Yes, his ex-wife took over the business. They fell in love, got married. She took out a loan, bought him out, divorced him, and then took over the business. It's an awesome story.
Wow. All right.
And this was back in the 1930s and 40s. She was the Mac Daddy businesswoman back then. She held all the power, and he dressed up like he is a beachcomber, and she wore a power gray suit all the time.
Holy cow, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I give speeches. And I can give speeches to tiki people, the mob's involved. I can give speeches to people like the mob and women in business.
Nice.
So there you go. And now it's time for our online selling tips of the week. It doesn't matter if you're selling on Etsy, Depop, Mercari, Poshmark, or eBay. These are little tips and tricks to help you when you're selling. Hey, Poshmark. Hey, Depop.
Hey. So I was listing recently on Poshmark, which I haven't done in a while. And I went in and there are these new style tags, which hadn't been there before. So it's really interesting to see how these platforms sort of play off of each other. So Depop has sort of always had some type of style tag, you know, is it pre-loved? Is it 60? You know, stuff like that. And now you start to see it go into like Poshmark. So Poshmark now, like when you're listing, there's options for style tags. And they even tell you in there, if you fill this in completely, your listing will be better found in SEO. So like they tell you straight up that if you do this, your listings are going to be found easier. So why wouldn't you do it? Just do it. It's new. It's a little weird, but it's fine. Just keep going. It's not the blue dot. It's just like 3 things. I believe in all of you. You got this.
Well, if the mob wants me to talk to them, I will, but it's about the mob, people who enjoy the mob history. So I don't think I've talked to the mob yet.
I mean, you've lived in Vegas long enough.
Hey, look what's showing up again. Inferno.
Hey.
By the way, I want to make a correction. He's a Dallas rapper. See in the title now. I said Atlanta. So again, okay. I wanted to show this again. And we've had this tip before, probably 100 times, but I want to make it so perfectly clear. When someone makes you an offer, I don't even care how bad it is. That's a person with money starting a conversation. Yep. If you pay attention to any group outside of mine and outside of probably Tony Boss's, people love to say, oh, they offered less than I was asking. I block them. Like, what a dumb thing to do. This is a person with money. Now, let me show you what I was asking for the CD I accepted $50 on. $200 because it's so rare and so hard to find. And there was no history. I also teach you pie in the sky, list it high and let it fly and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
So I had it up for quite a while.
Yep.
And I think I even had it up longer on Discogs. So it's been a year and I had some $20, $30 offers. Finally, someone came by $50. I'll make some money on shipping to Japan. But that's 1/4 of my asking. But my asking, who knows? There was no history. I don't know where I was. So if I base my taking care of my customers on most Facebook groups about selling, I should have blocked that person and not taken their $50 plus 22 shipping.
Yeah. Nope.
No. Counter if you want to. That's great. But I was like, you know what? $3. It's been a year. I'll take 50. Moving on. Let's go find the next thing, you know?
Yep.
And so don't fall into that. Oh, this is what everyone else does. I should do it too. Please don't.
Yeah.
Customer offered me $7 on the most kick-ass Tory Richard dress I ever sold. I'll dig it up. I'll send it over to you, Steph. And I had $100 on it. Now, most people like, screw you, $7. I counted at 95. They took it and paid.
I love people.
But
so
if
funny.
you were like, no, if you got mad and just declined, you wouldn't have got the $95.
Yep.
Like, all right, here's where I'm at. Let's try 95. And they took it and paid like that.
Amazing.
Yeah. So don't get mad. It's just business. Think of the other end. When you're the buyer, you should try and get the same deal. You should.
Absolutely.
And now it's time for Unseasonably Sold. What did you sell out of season? I'm thinking people are buying Christmas and Halloween sewing patterns because they got to make them.
I would think, but we're not
And
there.
you got none.
I got nothing.
This is a tiki bowl of Santa and Rudolph in a hot tub. And I bought it. I had it listed 2 Christmases ago. And I think I got like 60 into it. So when someone finally offered me 100 in May, I'm like, yeah, again, bye-bye. I had it listed for like 200, but I wasn't selling it. I see other people sell theirs.
Wow.
I want it gone. 2 Christmases is plenty. I got to get it out of here. So list your Christmas stuff all year. Okay, let's do a couple quick commercials and then we'll get Tara in here.
Sweet. So like I said, this is my lovely little YouTube channel. Like I said, I do all types of like weird sewing experiments. There's like, I go and find weird sewing patterns. The most recent one was 100 years of weird sewing patterns. So if you really want to see some weird patterns, and actually a few of which people were like, oh my God, I want this pattern. Like there's a frog pattern from the 1920s that if you ever come across it, dear mercy, there is a market for that. Fun things like that.
I'd like to point out, see all the red lines? I watch all your videos.
I'm so proud. Also, if you are looking for any type of vintage sewing patterns, fabric, clothing, things, I have my own website. So, which you can see, I just listed a whole bunch of 1980s and 90s, 60s, all types of fun patterns. I try and find larger sizes. So one of them actually of recent was a bust 46, is a bust 46 because I still have it. But there's lots. I do try and find a range of sizes.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Legs are elongated for your viewing pleasure.
Holy.
Not to scale.
Nice.
Or maybe they are to scale. I don't know. I've never made them. And then for those of you that are out there that are in the thrifting world, if you're on Depop, I would really love to like build this up a little more. I'm not saying come buy from me. You don't have to do that. If you don't like my stuff, I don't care. But I would really love to try and get more than 21 followers on Depop so that people maybe think, oh, hey, she does find cool stuff every once in a while. I mean, come on. Rainbow kitty cat unicorn cut off tank top. Come on. It's cute. Found all this fun type of tie-dye stuff. So I just love if any of y'all are out there and just want to come over and just follow, I'll follow you back just so we all like boost our little Depop following numbers. Yay. So
yeah,
that's all. Oh, sure. Instagram. Why not?
Yeah, she gave me everything. Instagram. She gave me your Twitter.
Oh, God. Why?
I don't know. She just gave me everything. That's
I don't think I have ever given, maybe originally I gave Debbie my Twitter. I mean, sure, you can follow me there. I do absolutely nothing except occasionally promote a video.
And like I said, she also gave me everything twice. So I was like, I guess we're really promoting.
I was like, Instagram, absolutely. Come on over. I do all types of stories all the time.
And she gave me your Facebook too. So Backroom Finds.
Oh yeah, my little Facebook page too. I'd love to get that to 1,000 eventually. That would be nice.
And I liked it, so I'm good there. Okay, real quick. Sunday, are you using Terapeak on your phone? Most of you have no clue how to get to it on your phone. It is not an app. You got to know how to get there, and I can make it easy and save it on your main screen. So you can access it without having to go hunt for it every single time. So we are going to walk Mom through doing it on the air. Yay! This should be fun, he said with his fingers crossed. All right. So if you're not using it in the field, you should be. It's 365 days of data. And when you need to make that educated decision, boom, you need to get some Terapeak sometimes because sometimes 90 days don't cut it. And Sue was hanging out with my mom at the Tiki Flea Market last week. And she said, think Jason wouldn't want to have me on. I sell knives.
Oh
and
my
all I
gosh.
said was yes. I don't know if they're hunting knives, killing people knives, chopping carrot knives. I have no idea. But I said, yes, we have never talked about knives. I don't want to know nothing. Let's just, yes, we're talking knives. So
Nice.
So Sue is on next week. So mark your calendar for Sunday and Thursday. All right.
Fantastic.
I have yet to pull this off properly. Let's see if I can do it tonight. Here we go. And now it's time for the Thrifty Business special guest of the week. Ah, so close.
So close.
I had to make that intro just a smidge longer. Like, I can't do it. There's 3 things I got to do. You are on mute, Tara.
Gotcha.
All right, there we go. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am dandy, and I'm excited. I'm excited to hear from someone who has sold on one of these long sales because, like I said, we've heard from a lot of people who have shopped on them. And that would be my first question before I really dig into you. Is it painful to be stuck there selling and not shopping?
Yes, a little bit. But it was good because I can always find something. So I kind of stayed to the booth a bit, and my husband went out with the kids and brought back all these goodies. So it didn't really work out either way.
Nice. All right. So can you pronounce the name of the town you live in?
HWY?
Yeah.
I was close.
So when you see it spelled out,
You
like
don't
I
see
live in
the
Las
L.
Vegas, I never have to spell that for anyone. You have to spell that every single time you say it.
Yeah, I guess you don't pronounce the L. It's HWY, not Ultua. It's HWY.
There you go. Yeah.
I just go with it.
All right. You're getting followers on Depop, Steph.
Yay. Thanks, Aaron.
All right. So we've established you've only lived there for 4 years. And in those 4 years, so prior to this year, did you shop at that sale before? Have you sold there before?
No, so the 127 sale comes through our county as well. That's on
okay.
but that's
Oh,
on the
that's a good
other
one.
side of the county. Yeah. So I've been to that one a few times. That's been fun. But I had no idea that the Highway 11 sale, it literally comes right through our town. So it was weird. And I had originally gone down to the antique store in town to see about possibly getting a booth. And they didn't have any booth space available, but he told me about the highway.
Yep.
And so I was like, all right, I'll just, I'll put a pop up and let's do it. And yeah, that was the story. And
All right, so I'm gonna work the mute because the monster's there a little bit, and I actually muted you when you were talking. So, so we're gonna work this mute so we don't have too much feedback. Okay, so I brought up the websites just to show everybody where we're talking about. So it's a US 11 Antique Alley, and they definitely need some help on formatting their websites. They have all this weird empty space to the right. Because I also wanted to bring up the map so people can get an idea. And again, weird empty space to the right. So that's the one end down here. And it travels all the way up there. So from Meridian, Mississippi, yeah, to Bristol, Virginia. So does that put you right in the kind of the middle?
yeah, right outside Chattanooga.
All right, there we go.
Yep, right there.
Boom.
There's right under McDonald to the left or to the right of Chattanooga.
All right, so let's talk about the shopping for a second. When the husband went out to look for things, did he find good things and at good prices?
Yes. So he's always good. He's kind of gotten into this more with me. I've been doing this kind of on the side since 2001, if I can say that. 20 years kind of sounds crazy, but this year I decided I was going to go full time. I've got 3 kids. My 2 younger ones are starting to go to school now. I've got a bit more time. So my husband is always good at helping me find like estate sales. Typically that's because he likes to look at the tools that they have. He does like woodworking and stuff. So he always finds the good estate sales with tools. But he's been kind of learning as I've been going along on like obviously what my niche is typically vintage, specifically 80s, 90s, and whatnot. So he found a whole bunch of really good stuff while I was trying to chain myself to the booth, so I didn't go out and spend what we were making.
All right, so that is a key point into doing this kind of business. If your spouse isn't into it, you have to figure out what they're into, like tools. Or my spouse, so Stacy isn't into a ton of things like this, but when she realizes she can find a $2 CD that turns into $20, she loves that. So she's into turning money into more money. So it doesn't really need to be something specific, but that's how you get your spouse involved. Stacy hated record stores until I gave her a list, like a paper list. And then it was a treasure hunt. So then it was fun. Just stand there watching me scan. That is not fun. But if you can get your in this case, your husband involved to go look at the tools, then you can teach them other things while looking at the tools. Am I right?
Yeah. And kids are really good too. My youngest, Sophia, she's at a level that when I go to thrift stores and even garage sales and yard sales and stuff, she's at a level that she sees certain things. And she has picked out some great gems for me. She obviously, all the kids come in here kind of, as long as it's not listed, they can, touch and play. And so they recognize a lot of the older vintage stuff too. But
Nice.
Obviously, you see I've got Dumbo and stuff. Disney is big. So they know all the Disney characters and stuff. So we do, like, as a family, we'll go and do different things, and everybody's got their, little help.
That's cool. Mine's also at that same height, but she refuses to sell any of it. We're working on it. She finds some cool stuff, but then I'm like, baby, we have to sell it. No, like, okay.
So
we'll get there.
What about Ned, your husband? Was he always kind of into doing this with you, or did you have to show him, hey, go find me these video games and we can make a lot of money?
He loves to find the estate sales. He loves to go to the estate sales. He does not like when I go in honey hole mode because I find the sewing room and he gets to hang out with Annabelle in some other room. So, like, in the time it takes me to go through the sewing room, they will have done the entire house. So they'll go find other things to look at, but he likes to find and go to the estate sales as the experience. He doesn't, like, if he's looking for things at an estate sale, it's for personal use. He's not good about flipping things yet. So we haven't gotten to that stage of his training. It's fine.
Yeah.
We'll get him there.
We'll get
All right.
there.
Excuse me, I got tickle in my throat. So when you decide to sell these kind of sales, I assume there's a website and you're like, I want to sell, or do you just set up?
So when I went down, I asked about the booth. He told me, no space inside available, but they were doing that Highway 11 sale, which, by the way, is the weekend after Mother's Day every year.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Last year, obviously, with the pandemic, they didn't do it. But so basically, he just said, hey, $40 for the weekend, and you can just pop your tent right here and whatnot. And that's what I did. It was supposed to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I ended up leaving early on Sunday. I was the only one standing, so that should have been my first clue.
Boy, that's not good.
Yeah, so the church next door, so they closed off the parking lot to the antique mall because all the booths were in the parking lot, and they let the church next door lets them use the parking lot for the sale, and I guess they've done that every year. So out of courtesy, they asked that we wait until after church gets out, about 12:30, before setting up for the day. So I did. I waited until church got out, and then I set up, and it was nobody. So I did Thursday, Friday, Saturday very nicely. Sunday I closed early.
Did you actually make anything on Sunday or no?
$5.
Oh boy.
I had one person come in, and I think it's just kind of the law of how things work, right? I was like, there's nobody here. We were there for like 2 hours trying to keep the kids occupied because now nobody was there. They had made friends with some of the other people in the booths, and there was other kids, and so they were having a good time, and now there's nobody. So I'm like, okay, let's just start packing up, and I'll just make a post that we closed early or something. And then literally somebody drove in, and I was like, oh. So I was like, oh, don't rush, take your time. And $5.
No.
So from a buyer standpoint, if you're there for the whole weekend, just start cruising up and down the main drag on Sunday and be like, all right, who's got deals? Who doesn't want to pack their crap up,
So on Sunday, I did 50% off of everything. So that would have been $10 on Saturday.
Oh, wow.
So question, do you find people are browsers hanging onto their cash thinking they're going to find something better down the road? I'm not really sure. I think everybody kind of has their own, what they're looking for kind of thing. I mean, I was there to liquidate and, kind of get some of my death pile that I was like really kind of wanting to sell stuff, but just threw it out there and whatnot. So I had priced decently. There was others that were priced a lot less. I mean, everything on the table was $1 and, it didn't matter what size or whatever. I had varying prices of different things. So I think, when people would come in, if they wanted it, they would have, they would give you an offer or haggle or, I don't think really, they were looking for kind of better deals on different things, but there was, I think 7 of us total in the parking lot. So you could have found anything.
Wow. I do like your booth. I had a question for you though. So for me, like as a buyer, when I'm looking for booths or like if I'm going outsourcing, did you find that the space gave your buyers enough room to kind of look? Because when I look at booths, like especially like yours, like I love the colors, but for me, I'm like, I'm looking for the people that just maybe it's the other people like that. They just pile stuff and they don't really give a crap. So I'm like, did you find that how you spaced it out helped? Or do you think that might have been like too antique mall and maybe that might have shied some people away?
So I felt I kind of got it both ways, right? Some people looked, so this was my first ever doing a pop-up, any sort of sale or anything like that. And so I probably did kind of go over the top a little bit, right? Pink tent, the table covers, I did organize everything. It's just kind of my nature, but I did get the feeling sometimes like people would walk by and be like, oh, she's probably priced too high because it looked nice. Some people are there and they want to dig and they know if they dig for it, it's going to be cheaper. So I did get a lot of people that kind of just like walk by. I did get a lot of compliments too. And, some people, obviously saying, a better display than they've seen in years past, I guess, or, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I definitely got a feeling that there was, certain people going, I'm not even going to try.
Yeah, because I lived in Eastern Tennessee. I lived in Knoxville for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Was going, I wonder if that was beneficial or if it might have hurt or maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah.
So my mom wants to know where you got the hot pink tent.
Amazon. I found it on.
Yeah, because Steph and I, I'm going to mute both of you guys for a second. Steph and I were looking at your pictures ahead of time, so I was giving Steph a preview of what we're going to be talking about and stuff. And she's like, man, her booth is set up so nice. You expect people to have things stacked up. And I'm like, well, I appreciate that because my mom sets up her booths like that, taught me. When I set up my tiki booths, I put more time and effort and care into the other tiki vendors at tiki events. But I get wanting to dig, and I'm like, not to disparage the entire state, but it's Tennessee. Were you too fancy for Tennessee?
Well, I mean, I hope not. I mean, there's the College Jail Commons, which isn't too far from where we are in HWY. They do, I think just about every weekend, they do kind of like vendor booths, but it's more craft fair, type stuff. I don't think they would let me in maybe if I showed them my booth in this, right, maybe they let me in. But I mean, they go all out. There's festivals and everything. You see some people, that take it to the nines. So I think for this sale, I was probably too fancy. But I don't think overall,
And I do know, like, and you said it, and I saw in your pictures, you had a thing where you're like, all right, I discounted as the weekend went on. Did that work at all, or would you not do that? Or would you do that again, or would you not do that again?
Well, I wouldn't do a Sunday again. Like I said, there was like 1 or 2 people that said, oh yeah, we'll be back. And then, I show up and their tent's gone. And I'm like, okay. And I should have just packed it up from there. So my pricing, I didn't think was too horrible. I had dig bins. I had like McDonald's Happy Meal toys. I had a bin, and it was like, get 10 for or 12 for $5 or whatever it was. So there, but again, I kind of had to draw people in. So this guy right here helped do that. This is a Radio Shack Robbie, which I sold him today.
What?
Yeah, so I listed a bunch of stuff because obviously I made it like pretty back here. And I listed a bunch of stuff, and I'm just going to say you brought me good luck. Just about everything I listed last night and today is gone. I sold. This, I got to figure out how to get to Quebec. But so Robbie Sr., I put the Mickey Mouse ears on him, and that drew people in. So even if they kind of like walk by thinking, oh, it's just probably too much, they still wanted to come see my robot. I had the Armatron there too. And so that got, conversation going and like different things. So I actually learned a lot about Robbie because people either had it when they were younger or they found one recently and told me, like one guy told me about, what to do to restore it and like get it up and working and stuff like that. And by the way, I've sold Robbie untested and as is 125. So
That's cool.
But here's what's even better is I have 2 Robbies because of the sale. So this was actually my Robbie that was in the background in those pictures.
Huh.
And I had one of the guys that was running the booth. One of his booths came around and he's like, oh, hey, I saw your robot. He's like, I got one just like that. It's got the remote. And that's what I needed because that's kind of what gives him his value, even untested, And I was like, oh, yeah, bring it. And his buddy that he was working with was asking me if I had Star Wars stuff. And months back, I bought a whole bunch of like Star Wars Micro Machine sets. And I had my husband help me like pair everything together. We knew like the sets weren't complete and things like that. So it was kind of been in my death pile for a while because it was worth listing, but the time and everything, right? So I said to him, I was like, well, I've got these Micro Machine sets and whatever. And he's like, yeah, bring them. So he brought the Robbie Sr. with the remote and this guy for me. This is a rad robot. He's a little bit beat up.
Wow.
But I traded that for all those Micro Machines. So I thought it was a cool deal. Again, I've sold Robbie Sr. for 125. I still have the other Robbie without the remote though. But so even though Sunday was a bust, and I mean, we can kind of get into more of the other part, the main part of the sale too, because now also understand we had the gas shortage crisis issue that was actually made its way down here to Chattanooga. So I think that's what also kind of hurt us in the way of sales. Advertising probably was another. I didn't see much about it. I advertised the crap out of my booth and whatnot, but I didn't see much on, the Highway 11 sale or whatever. But so that trade, I made a few other trades with some other, booths and made some good connections. My kids had a good time. I mean, overall, it was a lot of work. Don't get me wrong, especially, with the way I kind of like set my booths up and stuff. But it was so much fun. Like the whole family had a good time.
That's cool.
And that's a nice bonus. The
Yeah.
whole family had a good time, So you cut some deals, you sold some stuff, and you had fun with the family. And so what a bonus. Hey, did you have the sign already? Or did you have that made up for the event?
So I'm crafty, or at least I try to be. And I did that with my Cricut.
Oh, nice.
And then obviously I hand wrote in the stuff.
Right, yeah.
So here's a story on those signs. I did like 6 of them. And, they're just the yard sale signs. You put the metals, the metal pieces in it and dig it into the ground, which Tennessee doesn't exactly have the nicest ground for that. Like, it's really hard clay. So I'm sure people laughed at me while I was trying to put them in the ground around here. But I put them out. I was so happy. I took pictures. I did a commercial video of me panning and all this other stuff. The next day, 4 of them were gone. I guess they were mowing the lawn that day, or the main, drag areas. Cause it was in public space, the public space. There was other signs there. I didn't, put it on anyone's private property. And I even asked like the gas station, like the one corner of the gas station. I was like, oh, can I put a sign out front? And she's like, yeah, that's fine. Next morning it was gone. I was like, dang it. All that work. And I had it so that I could wipe it, like, erase it so I could redo it. Like, I made it so that it would have been reusable.
Yep.
So I was a little sad about that, but I still have 2 left. And I think I have like 4 more blanks that I can redo, but for one day people saw on the road. So.
Yeah, it sounds like Florida.
So Linda wants to know, did you price items with haggling room in mind?
Yes, I did. Pretty much everything that I brought, I wanted to get rid of. So with Robbie though, I did put on there that he was just my office mascot, which kind of probably made people mad a little bit, wanting to buy him. But yeah, I did make sure that there was still room that I could still wiggle. I mean, and pretty much I just didn't even haggle. If somebody made me an offer, I was like, yeah, take it. Like, I just wanted to move stuff, Like I said, I've been doing this full time since January, and I never have a problem finding anything anywhere. So the accumulation of stuff, it was just better to say goodbye.
We all know that. So Kathy's got a great question. Did you see people from out of state, not just like the neighboring ones, but did you see people from like 2, 3, 4 states away?
So I heard from some of the other vendors in the past years, it was a much better turnout and everything like that. And there would be from like Alabama, even though that's kind of adjacent, but yeah, they're in, I guess, previous years. Personally, I didn't, just because the cars are kind of, in the back there with the church. So I didn't check any or get to see any license plates kind of drive by. But yeah, we've got Kentucky, North Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, all kind of within a couple hour radius. So
I think we should do this one next year. So Mom, mark it down. We'll do this one next year because I feel that this one will have better deals than the 127. I think the 127's gotten so big and popular worldwide. Every time we talk to people who've been there, they're like,
yeah,
no one's ever excited. Like, some people have fun just driving and look in, and that's fine. And I don't mind that part, but I also want to come home with a load of cool stuff. And I think this one, like, even when you said they don't advertise too well, makes me feel like I could find deals. I could find cool stuff.
Yeah, the guy that I talked to at the antique store, he had mentioned that like some of the antique dealers, I think from Atlanta, would come up with like their tractor or their trailers and everything. They'd load up all their stuff. It used to be a bigger thing. A couple years, I think he said a couple years, being before the pandemic too, kind of. I'm sure has shied people away. But yeah, I mean, the other booths that were there, like I said, there was one guy, it was just everything on the table. It didn't matter. You pick it up, $1, pick it up, and I did find a few cool things. Trying to think if I have it within arm's reach here.
Yeah, I will say I got lucky at 127. I found one little tiny booth that was actually not that expensive. But it took a long time on the 127.
So I found these records.
Oh.
Gremlin. Gizmo.
Those are cool.
I thought they were cool. But so because I'm small, I'm still like itty bitty baby small. I do like offer kind of like a personal shopping kind of thing. I call it a first dibs list. So I've had people reach out to me and say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Let me know if you ever come across it. So like one guy at the sale, big Kiss fan. He gave me his number. He's like, oh, you go thrift stores here, here's my number. Let me know if there's anything you ever find. And he had specifics on what he was looking for, but I had somebody who was looking for Disney 45s, the ones, the storybook ones.
Yep.
So like I said, I tried not to do the shopping. I let my husband with the kids go out, but I did because I also didn't want people, like especially the other booth, other people running their booth to think like I was like a snob or something. So I went over and kind of, said hello to everybody and gave a little look-see, probably bought too much, but the one guy, a couple tents down for me, had all these like Disney, the Disney book ones. And I think there was like 7 of them. And I reached out to my customer and I was like, hey, I've got these, would you be interested? So that was a quick flip for me too, being at the show, being able to, just kind of contact my customer. And so I made a sale in the online portion of it. Because again, my first dibs list is all online customers. And a lot of those I've actually gotten from Facebook. So when I would sell on Facebook Marketplace, but Facebook Marketplace has gone down for me altogether. So I'm just kind of strictly with eBay's the bread and butter, and then I do Mercari as well.
All right, I like it. All right, so we're gonna switch gears hard here. So let me end with this. Would you set up a booth next year?
Yes.
Okay.
I would probably do a little bit differently. Again, with the way I had it set up, not saying I should dumb it down, but I should dumb it down. Like I had the plants. I had plants because I was in the boating industry for about 10 years. So I was used to going to boat shows and doing trade shows and stuff. And it was always tablecloths, always, plants. It just made it look, nicer and whatever. And I can't tell you how many offers I got on my plants. I'm like, but I saw lots of other cool stuff. Are you not interested in that stuff? It's okay.
You don't want this plush Mickey Mouse? What the hell?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love people.
All right. I think we're coming next year. Mom and I and my wife and I have always talked about doing the long ones. I thought it'd be the 127. I think it's going to be this one. I like this idea.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
How was the weather? Was it too hot? Was it nice?
Okay. So I wrote her name down. So on the thrifting board, I reached out and I asked, I needed advice. This was going to be my first one. What do I do? What do I not do? What do I bring? What do I not bring? And I wrote down her name, Connie Holloway Halsey. I let you down. You told me to wear sunscreen and I totally forgot the first day and I totally got burned. So this is why I look like I went to the Caribbean, by the way. I still look nice and kind of dark tan.
No.
So yeah. It wasn't too hot, but the Tennessee sun certainly is bright.
All right, Craig, we're coming down. I think we're going to make it a group event. Linda said, would you make your booth super cute again next year?
I would still make it cute and me and, fun and funky. Like I said, probably wouldn't bring the plants.
Next year, sell plants.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah,
was gonna say sell.
maybe that's what I need to do.
You should
Yeah,
try
maybe I
that. You should have a
strategize on 'em.
couple.
But they're like my fake plants for the house. So I'm like, no, I'm sorry.
I like it. All right. So now we're going to switch gears a little bit because you do something fun in the thrifting board that you asked me about a while back. I said, sure. And I fully intended to be like, I'm in to participate. And then, life happens. And, so I did jump in. I'll share it now. But here's what you wanted to do. And what made you want to do this?
So I have a goal to do visit, feet have to land on the ground. Doesn't matter if it's, you're just doing a layover in an airport, but all 50 states before I'm 50 years old. Obviously, the pandemic kind of crushed that a bit. And when I started the business, I was like, hey, let me turn it into, still do the challenge, but do it a little bit more in a different way. So, yeah, I've been doing the 50 states shipping challenge now with the business. I'm up to 45. I am like stuck on 45. I was stuck on 43 for forever. Still stuck on 45. And then my next goal is to do thrifting all 50. Right now, I've got Tennessee. We just did Kentucky over the weekend because we met up with some friends in Kentucky. So I was like, let's stop at a flea market. And I've got Georgia and Florida.
All right.
Very
So
cool.
if you're not let me mute everybody else here, or just Tara. If you're not participated, hop in when you see the post. When she started this, she was like, let's see how long it takes to get to 50 states. And like I said, I really wanted to participate and just life got in the way. So because you were coming on, I'm like, all right, how did I do in the last 2 weeks? I just wanted to do last 2 weeks. And so here is my work in the last 2 weeks. I hit 23 of the 50 states in 2 weeks. And I got the ever elusive South Dakota.
Yeah, that's good. It took me 5 months to get to 45. So you'll be getting 50 next month. You probably already have the 50 done 3 times.
I have. Now we talked about, I think it was Steph and I talking about the populations. I'm like, I don't think I got a Wyoming in a long time. And I know I don't got a North Dakota. I was so excited when I saw South Dakota come through the orders. I'm like, I got to hop into this challenge. I got a South Dakota. Let's do this. I felt like I'm behind the 8 ball. I got to catch up. So have some fun, jump in and let us know how you're doing. And you can go back, just look at your orders and see what states they went to. But it is a lot of fun. And it is a lot of fun to see how many states you've been to and the whole thrifting in. I think I can get most of them. I don't know about Alaska. I don't know if I'm ever getting up there. So that would be a tricky one. You've been to Alaska, Steph?
I have not, but we've talked about going here real soon.
Right. So 23 states. All right. Tell me about this awesomeness.
Ooh.
So this was kind of fun. I enjoy going to the antique malls and stuff. I have found the rare gems every once in a while. A lot of the antique mall, there's tons of thrift stores and antique malls around here too, by the way. So even if you come through for the Highway 11 sale, so many different places that you can go, besides a Goodwill. It's, there's church thrift stores and there's Humane Society thrift. There's so many places to source here, which is another reason why I've jumped full gear. So this was a antique store find. I kind of paid up for them. They were $15 each. I had never seen them before. I'm not a Barbie or fashion doll aficionado. So, maybe, other people have seen them before or, it isn't all that spectacular, but I was just like, let me look them up. Couldn't really find comps on eBay. I was like, that's sometimes a good sign. So I threw them up for $30 a piece. And I sold one the first day, and then I think somebody made an offer for the other 2, and I made a deal. I forget what I sold those 2 for together, but I thought, how cool!
Oh yeah, absolutely.
A Wrangler brand doll, imagine a Levi's one. I don't know if they make that. Maybe they do, but
maybe. But that's really cool.
Yeah, that's cool to find them still in that good a shape too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the packaging was a little beat up, but yeah, still in the package. It was so the middle one, the Misty's corduroy, the pink corduroy ones, that was the first one to sell full price. And then I made a deal on the other two. I thought for sure the chaps were gonna go first because that's probably my pick. But no, it was the pink corduroys that went first. And then funny thing, I scrolling through my Instagram, I see them, somebody is doing a video with a post with the Wrangler, the Misty's thing. And I was like, so I was following him, but he wasn't following me. So he didn't buy seeing that I had posted it on Instagram or whatever. So I messaged or commented, I was like, hey, I think I know where you got that from. And so he kind of like gave me a shout out on it. He was really happy with the purchase and everything like that. That was kind of fun too. It was like to see your product, somebody else showing off, like how cool is that?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not my personal product. I don't know if that makes sense.
All right, let's talk your duds because I wouldn't have never think that John Deere hats would be duds.
They're not.
Oh,
and I am I still kick myself over this. And like you could ask my family and friends. I have a little my own little Facebook group and my friends and family, and I kind of give the full good, bad, and the ugly with everything I'm kind of doing. And so with the hats, I think I picked them up for like $1.50 each. Started comping them, and then because I knew like vintage trucker hats are good money. And then I start comping them, and I'm seeing $150, and I'm like, there's no way. So I go on the thrifting board and I post the pictures that I had, and there's a lot of other people that do the vintage hats and everything. They're like, yeah, that's a great brand, all that other stuff. Suggested I do an auction, and the auction didn't work out for me. So I still made a profit. I was that good seller. I didn't, stomp my feet and cancel and relist. And, it was a lesson learned. I probably should have just listed high and waited for the buyer.
Yeah, when we were filming Thrift Hunters, I found a super rare coconut mug that normally sells for like $250. And so we did it at a $9.99 auction thinking people would fight. And we barely made it to 100, which was still fine. But since then, because I always keep an eye on them, they have always sold for $250 since then. The only time they did not sell for $250 was the week we were filming Thrift Hunters for that episode. I'm like, what? See, that's why you gotta go just list it by now with the best offer and see what happens.
Yep.
Yeah, I must have. I mean, I blasted on my social media. It was my business account, which I didn't have. I just hit 500 followers on Instagram yesterday, by the way.
Hooray!
So I had like 50 followers at the time. So I wasn't getting probably half or a third of the, put it out there like some of the others who are more into selling those. I'm sure they have a better following and stuff.
Yeah.
But I promised myself I would never do another auction until this one. I broke through.
So tell us about what this is.
So this is interesting. My husband helped me get this connection. He bought this like seed kit off of somebody on Facebook Marketplace. Come to find out, this guy buys out the end of state sales. He says, hey, my wife is a reseller. You should, talk to, get together or whatever. And, she could probably come treasure hunting, which I have. I went down to his shop, corner of my eye. I see the very top of the VHS tape for Faces of Death. Do you remember that movie?
Oh yeah,
okay. It's probably good if you don't know Faces of Death. It's banned in many countries, this, that, whatever. So anyway, I said, can I look in that box? And it was nothing but like B-rated horror, and that's the bread and butter and the money makers on VHS, because VHS does still sell. It's actually making a weird comeback a little bit. Even some of the regular blockbusters and, some of the older movies. So this particular one, the director is Black, the whole cast is Black, and I think mid to early 80s, he produced this, shot on video, B-rated horror movie. He and the lead actress went and like were trying to sell the tapes, to promote themselves.
Door to door?
Kind of, yeah. So they believe there's maybe only 100 copies of the original. The last one that I think has been at least publicized about, if you find the original, it went for over $2,000.
Whoa.
Yeah. But this isn't that tape. But because especially for the price that it sold for. But what this one is, Massacre Video hooked up with Chester Turner and was able to license his movie. And so they did a re-release. I don't think it's as small of a re-release as obviously the original.
As 100.
Yeah, but it was still small enough that it's somewhat rare. And so I let this one fly. And it surprised me. I was hoping to get like $50 for it. The box of B-rated horror movies that I got, I think there was 32 movies total in there. I bought them all for $64. I paid $2 a piece for them. So this more than paid for the lot. And then there's plenty of others I sold. There was Stunt Rock. That was a big box one. That one I think I sold for $60 or $65. There was some really good movies in there. Some really good old horror. It's my girl.
So earlier today, I couldn't find one of your souls because the link actually had expired. And so I was telling you which ones I have. And I'm like, so I didn't really pay attention because I said, yeah, I've got the Pepsi Barbie. And you're like, it's Britney Spears.
That's Britney. She's my birthday twin. December 2nd. I'm not gonna. So yeah, my best friend will call me. She's like, "Hey, happy birthday to Brittany and you." So now,
and what you pay for this?
So this is an interesting estate sale. My husband found it was nothing but like 90s and early 2000 toys. I mean, so many toys. Walking through, and I'm seeing one Brittany. You go into another room. I found another Brittany. I found 13 of them for $6 a piece. She was the highest one that I sold. I think I ended up letting her go for 65. Others I've sold, again, various conditions and whatever. But I've pretty steadily gotten like $35 at least per doll. So I love Brittany.
This might be the most doesn't look like the person doll I've ever seen.
I mean, I've seen one that's almost as bad. Just look up the most recent Beauty and the Beast Belle doll.
All right.
Yeah, Disney did not do a good job.
Okay, so I'm going to show what Tara sold in a second here, but this is not what she sold. But what's always missing from this ad, and funny enough, I have one in the other room to sell, and it doesn't have these, is the little guns under the chin that light up. So what'd you sell?
So again, the guy that does the estate sale buyouts, I went treasure hunting and I just found a ton of bits and pieces of I think there's just bits and pieces of different things, old Fisher Price, like anything, obviously I look for the copyright, the dates on them, and anything vintage I pull. And these looked familiar at the time. I couldn't pinpoint it in my head, but I was just flipping through and threw it in my bucket. I had this whole big bin. I got 2 soft patch. This guy right here was one of them. the soft sculpture, Cabbage Patch, so many like different things. I got the whole thing for $100 from them. I listed this at 3:00 today. Again, thank you. You've been a good luck charm for me today.
Oh, these are today? I had no clue.
Yeah. So what I try to do is, because a friend had asked me, she's like, is there a specific time or day that you list stuff? Because every time I see something I like, it's already sold. So I've started to do 3:00 is when I list all my stuff and like make announcements on social media and different things like that. It's been working in my favor. So I'm really, grateful that she told me or asked me about it. But anyway, so sold this or listed this at 3. By 3:10, I had an offer of $65. I messaged my husband. I was like, should I take it or should I just wait for full asking? 10 minutes later, I got $60 offer. And then 20 minutes later, somebody paid full price.
That's awesome.
Funnier. Ready? He lives like 2 towns down.
Of course.
I'm like, I put free priority shipping. So it's $7, I'm paying $7 to ship it down the road. I sent him a message. I was like, hey, it's funny. I could have just hand delivered, but I'm dropping it off in the morning for you.
That's awesome, though.
All right. So this was the one I couldn't see. So Mr. Super Mr. Potato Head.
Yes. This one, I don't exactly remember where I got them. Had them listed probably for 3 months, $35, free shipping. I was getting nothing on it. I heard on the news that Hasbro was rebranding Mr. Potato Head. I ended my listing, sold, hit the sell similar button, and I put him up for $50 plus shipping, and he sold within 3 hours.
Wow, that was smart.
And that was a tip that I got out of the thrifting board, is like when there's different things that are going on the news and getting on top of it and get it sold.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was about to give you a commercial, and where'd it go?
Oh,
there we go. I lost all the stuff I was about to show. Ta-da! So someone was asking, is your name the same across all your social platform stuff? So here is, what are we on here? This is your website.
Yes.
So circa 1980, and then it takes you to your store and your Mercari shop. Oh, do not click here. What?
all I want to do is click.
Nice. Well played. Well played.
It's cheesy, but it works every time.
Oh, absolutely. All right. TikTok, circa 1980. You always got fun little videos going on.
I haven't had the courage to put my actual face on it yet. This is my first time, kind of showing my face on anything with the business. So maybe this will give a little courage to do a fun video. And
push. Yeah. Ooh, that was like a monster.
But what I do always post is what I sell for the week. I think it's kind of a twofold thing. I think it kind of helps with other resellers that, gives an idea of some of the things that I've sold. Maybe, they could view them as bolos or whatever you want to call it. But also for my customers to go, oh man, I missed that. Oh, I need to, let me see if she's got this, or maybe I should reach out and see if she's got that. So I think it's a twofold thing.
Dory says, you are beautiful. Do it.
Thank you, Dory.
And I concur. But, it sounds so weird now. I didn't mean to say you're beautiful, but you are beautiful. But yeah, do it. I'm stuck in a loop. I can't get out of it.
I got you. Trust me. When in doubt on TikTok, just start responding to other people's and use their audio. Like find an audio that's really good for a business. Like, hey, this is what I do. Or, hey, I made a sale. Start there with just your hands and doing something. And that'll sort of get you into the, okay, this isn't so bad. Like start by clicking on those sounds and use those sounds to help push you and help other people find you. Because the small business TikTok, since they started doing that paid promotion crap, has definitely gotten smaller and less visible, but it's still there. So if you use the sounds that already exist, that'll help you still be seen.
Okay. Thank you.
And good job on your graphics too. It is, it's big and bold, and you definitely got a skill set that not everyone has, but people should follow you because she was a great guest, but follow you in and take some notes and see what she's doing. This whole rave, I mean, just everything looks good. I mean, just very, for being new at this, well done. Just very well done.
Yeah.
That's really well put. Where do you do your graphics at?
Canva.
I knew it.
I knew it. Everyone on TikTok
So
kind
good.
of like talks crap about Canva, and I didn't go to school for graphic design. Again, like I said, I was in the boating industry for about a decade, and it was a small business. So my bosses asked me, hey, can you do this? And so I started doing their ads for the boats that we're selling and the marina and different things like that. So that's kind of how I got my graphic design, start, because they let me kind of like play and do stuff.
Yeah.
The Boating on the Hudson magazine, I would do ads for them and different stuff like that. So it's kind of all coming together, all the things that you learn along the way. And
Oh yeah. And Canva's a really great place to start for folks too. Like, hi, I'm not good. Don't look at, if you want to look at my ridiculous face, go to my Instagram, but yours is like so cohesive and so nice. I'm like, oh, that's how you're supposed to use it. Not how I do.
it's really easy, and you can manipulate it in so many different ways.
Oh, it totally is.
I ended up getting the arm twist, and I paid for the pro. I think because one time they had like this really cool element or something like that. I was like, I need that. But even just their free version is great.
Mm-hmm. That's how they get you that
awesome.
one cool element.
Yeah.
Such a small world. RKB Thrifts looked you up, and you already followed RKB.
I do.
And so got to follow back. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's a small world after all. Can you come back someday? I think we've just scratched the surface with you. I think you have so much to offer. And I do like that you put I do like you put yourself out there and you're like, hey, I want to do this 50-state challenge. And I love people who, besides just doing the norm of I'm learning how to sell and move stuff, that you're like, I got ideas. I want to do things. And so that's what attracted me to Steph. Steph's got her own thing going on, but I loved, she pushed me to do some things I hadn't done. And so I love being around creative people. So I think it makes us all better if we, don't steal from each other, but borrow from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah. Getting different ideas and then making it your own. Again, the thrifting board. I mean, I can't tell you how many times, somebody has said something. I was like, oh, that's a great idea, and then taking it and making it my own or tweaking it in whatever way. And I hope other people, have, because I posted like the different things that I do as far as like, I have thank you cards, I have, like different things. And I hope other people have, gotten inspiration and have tweaked things and done things in their own ways too.
I just want to give you a big hug.
Thank you.
I do. All right. So here's the plan. Let's do this sale next year, everybody. We'll figure out the logistics, but there will, of all the, you can't even go to a flea market with 4 people because you never stay together. I mean,
Right.
You're all in the general space, but once I see a record booth or CD booth, I'm gone for like an hour. And so what we'll do, though, is we will definitely make a point in time, a time and day to meet at your booth.
Okay.
Yes. And we'll do it at the end of the day so that we can go get beer somewhere right afterwards.
There you go.
All right. So we're making
across the street is a really nice square. It's called Cambridge Square. And they've got like all these different shops and everything. It's a really cute little like town type look. So we can just walk across.
So that's the plan for next year. It's the weekend after Mother's Day. Put it in your calendar right now if you want to do a thrifting board, thrifty business group outing. But of course, don't plan on staying together because that's not how it works in these long sales. But we will make one special plan. We'll meet up for shopping. We're going to buy all your stuff and then we'll go get beers.
All right. Awesome.
Because I'm pretty sure there's no tiki drinks. So we'll go for beers.
Yeah. There's a craft brewery place. Yeah. I definitely not a tiki bar over there, but there's
cool. I like this idea. All right. Oh, good Lord, this monster tonight. The ghost in the machine. All right. Go follow all Steph's stuff. please follow mine. I'm kind of hoping or guessing you do already. And definitely go follow all of Tara's stuff. And let's help each other and participate in the 50 state challenge. How are you doing? I got 23 in 2 weeks. Am I at all 50 yet this year? I'm going to go find out because now I'm intrigued. So thank you very much for being on. Steph, thanks for being co-host tonight.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. And have a wonderful evening, everybody. Don't forget, Sunday, we're going to talk about making sure you're using Terapeak on your phone. It's a little bit of a trick. And for those of you who are phone challenged, I'm going to walk you through it step by step and try and make it easy. But once it's set up on your main screen, you don't have to worry about setting it up ever again. So Sunday, 7 o'clock East Coast, 4 o'clock on the West Coast. And we'll be back here next Thursday. And with that, I say good night. And hey, Tara, don't go nowhere. I want to tell you something. Don't leave.
Okay.
If I can find my exit. Goodbye.